Hello everybody, TK here, and welcome to my review of the Transformers Studio Series Leader Class Blackout. Yes, it's true. I finally got him. My Movie 1 Decepticon team is finally done, with the exception of Frenzy, I guess. And I'm so happy. So, let's get into the review. It's gonna be quite an interesting one. Got a lot to talk about with this guy. He has got a lot to go over. But, of course, like always, let's start off with a quick look at the packaging. Here is the packaging. It's your standard Studio Series packaging. We have a nice picture of Blackout right there, which I do quite like, although I don't remember him ever actually pulling off the main propeller as a weapon. I know he did the back propeller in the movie, but I don't remember him pulling off the actual main propeller, because you can see it's not, like, that piece is not there where it's supposed to be, especially, like, if you look at the back here. That's what it's supposed to look like, and he has the propeller cape. In the movie, I don't think he ever actually pulled that off as a weapon. So I just wanted to point that out. But Transformers, Decepticon, Blackout, Hasbro, Transformers, Generations on the side. Nice picture of Blackout, really, really nicely done. That friggin' Autobot logo, which I'll never understand. On the back, we have a nice picture of Blackout in both of his modes. Yeah. He looks that good. You see that? Yeah, that picture is, like, ridiculously accurate. He genuinely looks that good. We have some cross cells down here, Grimlock and Optimus Prime. I do want this Grimlock. It looks really cool, even though I hate Age of Extinction. But, nice picture of Blackout right there. 08 Studio Series Leader Class, and that'll do it for the package. However, we do also get a nice display base for him. We get the original opening scene of Transformers, which honestly might be my favorite scene in the entire franchise. It's an incredible scene. It was like, when I saw this movie as a theater and this scene happened, like, 5 minutes into the movie, oh my god, it was a bang. Michael Bay, you sure know how to start a freaking action movie, because, well done, man. But yeah, really, really cool. You can't really put him on there in vehicle mode, because he's friggin' huge, which we'll talk about in a second. But it is a nice display base. I do apologize for not really showing the display bases in any of the other videos. I don't use them myself, so I just forget that they're there most of the time. But definitely gonna try and remember from now on. But yeah, really, really cool display base. And I never talk about the instructions because I don't use them, but I do want to briefly point out that with this figure, I got 2 separate instruction manuals, one in Japanese and one in English, so that's interesting. I don't know if that was accurate. I don't know if maybe they accidentally threw this one in there with it. I don't know, but I thought I would point it out. I don't ever use it. I haven't even opened this, so. And here is Blackout, and he is absolutely magnificent. Oh, this figure is incredible. I don't know if I'd say he's my favorite of the Movie 1 cons, because honestly, all 6 of them are probably my favorite, because holy moly, those figures were incredible, and I can't wait to show you guys what they look like all together, because it's one of the best looking sets of figures I have ever seen in my entire friggin' life. But here is Blackout in his helicopter mode. He is, of course, 4500X, as they pointed out in the movie. So cool. Blackout was such a smart character in the movie, you know, taking out 4500X, scanning it before anyone even knows it was gone. They found out right before it was too late. So cool. Absolutely love this helicopter mode. Really, really nice. I mean, I've never really been a big helicopter fan. I just don't really think helicopters are that cool, honestly. But if there's 2 Transformers that pulled off the helicopter look for me, it was Blackout and Transformers Prime Arachnid. They definitely pulled it off for me, because Blackout, this is a very cool looking helicopter. Like, I really like this. I apologize for the shadow that the propeller is giving you there, but I don't know why, but I really like this design for the cockpit. It's just really cool. I love that they gave him the Decepticon logo right there. I don't even think that's accurate, but honestly, I love that it's there. I love when my Decepticon figures actually have their Decepticon logos. I love it, because it makes me think they're proud to be Decepticon, and I know Blackout is proud to be Decepticon, because I was like his old character in the movie. But yeah, absolutely awesome. I love the way that this looks. It's freaking gigantic. If you need to know how big this is just right off the bat here before we get to comparison, here's Prime. Yeah, he is massive. Absolutely massive. Honestly, he's not actually this big in robot mode. He kind of mass shifts when it gets to robot mode, which is kind of funny, but yeah, in this mode, he's friggin' huge. He's ginormous. Probably one of the biggest figures I've ever had. I think the biggest Transformer figure I've ever had is the Leader Class Jetfire. That vehicle mode was obscene. Not the Studio Series one, the old one. That freaking vehicle mode was ridiculous. Like, this times 3. Oh yeah, but it's a big ass helicopter. I love it. One thing I really like about it is on the rotor here, on this little back propeller thing, it actually says Blackout, which is super cool. I don't know if that's actually accurate to the movie, but honestly, I like that. It makes me think he, like, wears his name as a badge of honor. And I'm just gonna say this, I know this is a weird thing to compliment on a character, but his name is so perfect and so cool. I love it. It's just, it's not like, oh, it doesn't, like, hit you over the head with, I'm an evil bad guy, like Bone Crusher. It's not a weird-ass word that no one ever says, like Brawl. It's just a really cool word that matches the character perfectly. Blackout. It's an awesome name. I had to say that, and I love that he has his name on the back there. That's just a neat little thing I think they threw in. The propeller can spin. It's kind of stiff on mine. I've seen like every review of this guy on YouTube, and I've seen on them, they could just go boom and it would just spin freely, so it's probably your mileage may vary type deal, but mine is pretty snug. It's not a complaint or anything, but I just thought I'd point it out. And the back propeller does also spin as well, as you can see right there. So, yeah, overall, the helicopter mode I think is absolutely awesome. I will briefly show you the bottom here because it's definitely something worth talking about, because I will just tell you right off the bat here before we get to the actual transformation segment here and the rest of it, and then we get to the transformation segment. The transformation on this guy, woo, it's quite the transformation. I'll talk about it in depth, but it's quite the transformation. But yeah, absolutely awesome helicopter mode. I really, really, really love the helicopter mode. It's awesome. It's really, really awesome, and it's so unbelievably big, which we will talk about more when we get to the comparisons. But for now, we've got something else to talk about, because Blackout includes a little Scorponok, and honestly, this is such an awesome accessory to include, because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really care that much about this accessory when I was watching all the reviews, because it looked kind of crappy to me. I didn't think it looked all that good. But when you get this in hand, dude, this thing is made really well. It even has a screw down there. It's got some heft to it. I mean, for a tiny little figure this big, it's a lot higher quality than you would expect it. The joints are actually pretty snug. They're not loose, especially the back joint here. This is a nice little Scorponok figure. I really like that they included this. I gotta bring him down here. But yeah, I love that they included this. I really wish they did Frenzy with Barricade, man. Although he probably would be kind of small, so I don't know if they'd be able to put articulation into him. But still, I love this. I love that they included this. It's a neat little accessory. And you can incorporate it into Blackout in both of his modes, which is absolutely awesome. It's a nice thing to throw on to the rest, to throw next to the rest of the movie one cons. And honestly, I'm just gonna say it, I am very surprised that Hasbro didn't take the opportunity to just, like with the box here, where's the box? I'm surprised Hasbro didn't take the opportunity to just put and Scorponok right here, because he was a pretty big character in the movie. His scene is pretty memorable. I love it. It's actually probably one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. Very funny. Probably the scene that got the most laughs out of me in the movie. But yeah, he was kind of a big character, so really, really cool that they included Scorponok. Now, in order to incorporate him into the helicopter mode, what you're going to do is you're going to fold in his pincers right there, and then you're going to fold down this, and this is basically his transformation, just his kind of deploy mode, which is kind of neat. I know that some of the older Scorponok figures actually could transform into a robot, basically, kind of, sort of. I mean, it was a stretch. I had the old deluxe class as a kid, but anyway, to incorporate him, you literally just gotta. Okay, so this might be a bit difficult to show on camera, but this little cavity right here is where you're going to put Scorponok. And if you just stick him in there, he'll kind of like lightly clip in place, which is, I don't know, it might be how you want to do it so that he's easier to get out, but it doesn't stay very well, because if you just tap it like briefly, he'll probably fall out. He's staying actually a little bit better this time, but he will just kind of clip in there. But they did also, there's something in there that actually does allow him to peg in if you push him in a little bit more, and now he's actually like in there super solidly. But it is a little bit more difficult to get him out if you do that. Not too much harder, but it is there. Really, really nice that they included Scorponok, and I like that they let him actually store into the back. I did have the old Voyager Blackout as a kid. I don't have very many memories of it, because it was a long time ago, but I remember that guy had a really cool little Scorponok deploying feature, which was kind of neat. But yeah, overall, I think the Scorponok is just such a cool accessory, man. It's really, really nice. But with that being said, let's get to the comparisons. And we're just gonna do the big one first. So here is the whole gang in vehicle mode, and this is not the most impressive. Look at them. They look so much better in robot mode, but Holy crap, man, they are such an amazing set of figures, and oh my god, I'm gonna talk about this more in the robot mode, because I absolutely love these guys when they're put together. It honestly makes the figure, like, that much better for me, but they look so great together. Although I will say this, incorporating him with the display is a little bit difficult, because all of them are pretty acceptable sizes, and he is just freaking enormous compared to all of them. He's like 10 times the size of Barricade, so yeah, he's kind of difficult to fit into the displays. Also, the propeller is super huge. I can't get him into a display where he's like flying in the air along with Megatron and Starscream, unfortunately, which is kind of crappy. One thing I was kind of able to do was I took a stand and I just kind of put a piece on it, and I just kind of balanced him on it. There isn't really a port to actually peg it into place, but I just kind of balanced him on it, and that kind of works. As you can see there, that actually doesn't look too bad, as you can see there, but he's a big boy. He's a very big boy, and he's a little bit difficult to incorporate with the rest of them, but they look so incredible together, and they look even better in robot mode. Just wait till we get them all in robot mode. But before that, we do need to do some more comparisons here. Here he is with Deluxe Class Bumblebee. Yeah, he's, like I've already said numerous times, he's a big boy. Here he is with another Leader Class figure, Scavenger, so you can get a sense of how he scales with another Leader Class figure. So yeah, he's a big boy for a Leader Class. He's a big boy. It's, like I said, it doesn't really stay that way in robot mode. In robot mode, he's quite acceptably sized, but he is humongous in this alt mode, so yeah. Now, if you wanted to pretend he's Grinder and you wanted to put him with your Revenge of the Fallen display, here he is with Megatron. I don't remember if Grinder had a different color palette than Blackout, because I'm not sure. I like to just think they're the same character, honestly, but apparently I think the story goes like Michael Bay forgot he killed Blackout in the first movie, so he put him in the second movie on accident, and he just said it was Grinder. I have no, I guess, I don't know. It's interesting. I don't really care. He's Blackout to me, and honestly, I don't even think they killed him in the first movie, but he didn't look that dead to me. I mean, Brawl kept getting up after they shot him like 1,000,000 times with rockets, and he got shot like twice with a little grenade launcher, so yeah, I just think he's Blackout. But yeah, there he is with Megatron, and I will also bring back in Starscream here, just so you can see how the main three from Revenge of the Fallen look together. So if you want to put him on your display as Grinder, or if you want to just display him with your Revenge of the Fallens, you totally can. Obviously, this is the movie 1 Starscream, but it still works. That's the same exact size that the tattooed one will be if you have the tattooed one. So there you have that. And for one last comparison, here he is with Optimus Prime with the trailer on. So yeah, he's a big boy. He's a big boy. I've said that multiple times already, but he is a big boy, and that should give you a basic sense of how he scales. And maybe bring him up here, because he's he's gonna be flying. So yeah, he's a big figure. Alrighty, it is time. Okay, so this transformation, going from helicopter mode to robot mode, not too bad. It's honestly pretty fun. I actually quite like it. Going from helicopter mode to robot mode is a different story, but all I'm gonna say at the moment is, when you first get this guy, he comes in robot mode. When you start messing with him and you start transforming him, you're gonna get frustrated. It's a frustrating transformation, really. Even if you use the instructions, it's still a frustrating as all hell transformation. There's a lot of things that have to line up here. There's a whole lot of clearance issues if you don't do things in the proper order. Some of the joints are really tight and difficult to move, but once you get the hang of it, which I have done, I got this guy a couple days ago, and I've gotten the hang of the transformation. I think I have anyway, because it doesn't frustrate me anymore. But it's the first time you transform him, prepare to have a bad time, because it's kind of frustrating. But this transformation is not bad at all. It's very fun, actually. So the first thing you want to do is you want to come back here and you want to take this little piece off. Yeah, it's parts forming, but it's not really, because it's gonna be his weapon in robot mode. So just take that piece off. Really easy right there. And then the next thing you want to do is you want to come back here, and this entire section right here will untab from here, and you want to get that out, and that will all kind of untab, and you want to do that on both sides right there. You want to do the same thing on the other side. So this piece is gonna lock in right there when you transform it back, and you've got to kind of angle this out so it will untab from that little section right there, because these are gonna be the legs, and there you go. And that is the first step. Now what you're gonna do is, if these didn't already come untabbed right there, you see those pieces lock in right there. I guess I'll talk about that later when the reverse transformation, but yeah, take that piece and lift that out and do the same thing on the other side. Just untab it from this little section right here and swing it out this way like that. You can kind of move those out of the way like that, and there is that entire thing done. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is, I think we're going to move up to the cockpit here. Yeah, I believe so. We're going to move up to the cockpit here, and we're going to pop down this section right here. So this entire piece is going to, okay, this is kind of hard to show. Okay, so the entire leg assembly, the entire leg, the waist assembly is tabbed in right here, and you basically just want to untab it from that section and fold it down. So as you can see there, it untabs from that top section, folds down, and then you want to bring it down the legs here, just like so, and then bring that piece down like that. Oh, he's hard to film because he's so big. But yeah, you want to bring down the legs right there and then shift this piece forward. You can bring the landing gear like that. And then you want to bring this out, and you just want to, well, not quite actually. You want to do something else first. Alright, so the next thing you want to do before you actually bring this piece all the way down, you actually have to finish up the cockpit section here. So, we can, at this point, I think we can go ahead and get his cape made here. So these two sections right here are on the propeller. These two pieces right here, you have to find them. They're kind of separate in the middle there. These are what's going to make his cape. You just want to pull these out, and they will untab, and they will just kind of all fold back, and that will make his propeller cape right there. So we will talk about that more in a second here, though. And then these sections right here, if they didn't already come untabbed, you want to untab them, just like splitting down the middle there, and then they will just move out just like that. You just want them to kind of just be brought over there to the side like that. Now we're going to do this section here. So this piece right here, you want to bring this piece up, this little piece of the cockpit right here, and there's his head right there. And then take this piece, fold this out like that, and bring you guys a little bit closer in here. And then as you fold this back, this is on like a little elevator type dealio. So that entire piece right there is what is connected to his head. So you can push that up with your thumb like that, and that's going to reveal his head, and then you can push all that back, and that is going to be that. So you reveal his absolutely incredible head, which we will talk about in a second here. But now you want to bring down the waist assembly here. Whew, alright, so now you want to bring down the waist assembly here. This piece will kind of fold down, and you just want to just bring these out so you actually can see. And that piece is going to tab into that little section right there in the waist. And it's just going to pop in, and boom, fold that little piece down, and there you have this. Alright, I think we're going to do the legs next. So fold the legs forward just like this. So you have them that orientation, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take these sections right here, and this is one thing I don't, actually, you know what, I guess we'll do the backpack first, actually. Yeah, it looks cumbersome, and it is before you get the hang of the transformation, it is cumbersome. It's not the most fun thing in the world, but you got to take this piece here. Okay, so this entire assembly is going to collapse and make his backpack. This piece right here literally just folds in, just like that, really easy. And then this piece is going to untab from this section right here. Be a little bit careful, because I don't want it to break. I'm sure it won't, but just be a little careful with it. And then that piece is going to slot into that section right there, just like that. And that is his backpack. Now you want to bring this forward, and you want to kind of accordion this up, so you get this little propeller thing over the window piece right there, and that is how you want that oriented. And then you want to bring it down this entire assembly. Well, actually, no, you have to. So that little piece right there is going to split in half here. So you just got to split those pieces in half. A little bit hard because they lock in pretty tightly, but you want to bring those out. So like I said, okay, so in case you didn't see that, those pieces from there fold out, and they just fold back like that. And then, well, you actually just want to fold them out like that, just so that they're like that, because you don't want them to be folded all the way back, because you won't have clearance to bring this piece down. Also want to bring these pieces forward here, just like that. Like I said, there's a lot to this guy. There's a lot to this transformation. He's got so many moving parts. Whew, but we're getting there. Alright, so the next thing you want to do is you want to take this piece of the back right there, that little section is going to slot right into there, into his butt right there. So bring that down, fold that out, and then just peg that into place. And it locks in very solidly, which is actually One of the things that gave me a bit of an issue when I first transformed him is that is kind of difficult to get out of place when you first get him. So just, it unplugs from right there. Just unplug it from there. We'll talk about that more in the reverse transformation. I don't really know why I'm bothering talking about it right now. These two pieces up top, they literally just fold them out like that. And boom, that's all they do. Whew, we're getting there. All right, so the feet, this section right here. So this is going to be pretty confusing for you when you first transform this guy, but these little feet pieces, these little panels on his feet are on a slider right there, and basically you want to unplug them and just kind of shift them down, just like that, kind of like on Voyager class Starscream, and then this piece right here will lift up and then fold around, and then you want to swivel the entire thing around and collapse it up, and that will make his foot right there. Bring that little piece out, and that will make one of his foot right there. And then the little landing gear piece will just flip up just like that. And then you want to do the same thing on the other side. So once again, this piece is on a slider, fold it out, bring this piece out and in, fold this entire piece around, and then push it back together, and it will slot in place. Bring that little landing gear piece up, and move that little piece up right there. And there you have his feet, and pretty much his legs all done. Alright, we're at the home stretch here. Alrighty, arms. Whew. Okay, so these pieces right here, you want to fold these pieces in, and this entire piece right here is going to swivel, and it's going to collapse in just like that. So if you didn't see that, right there, this little panel here folds down, and then you want to just collapse that in and peg it into place right there. Fold this entire thing forward, and it will kind of accordion in, and those two slots will slot into there. And just like that, you have that all done. Although you actually do probably need to unpeg that from here first, because that's going to be his arm. And then you can peg all that into place. And there you have that. Bring this little piece down. So out of breath. All right, bring the hand out just like this. Fold this piece out, and then fold this piece back. And then these are going to slot together in the back here. So you see that tab will go into that slot right there. And that is one of the arms. It kind of is a little bit difficult to do right there. And then that slot together, swivel it around, and there you have one of his arms all done. All right, and then on the other side here, once again, that little panel right there, fold it down, flip it up, bring it down, take this piece right here, unpeg it, and it will, it's a little bit, it's pretty in there, solid, pretty solid though. Bring that piece down, fold it down, just like that. Bring that piece back, bring out the hand first, fold these pieces around, fold it back, and tab it into place right there. Alright, then take these pieces here, once again, just accordion it in. It'll lock in place right there. Bring the arm around, and take his cape, fold it all the way down to the back. And, ladies and gentlemen, there is Blackout in his robot mode, and I am completely out of breath. Whew. Yeah, the transformation is no flippin' joke, but oh my goodness, the result is so worth it. I mean, look at him, man. Do I even need to say it? He looks pretty much perfect, honestly. Yeah, I think he looks like he jumped right out of the movie, man. He looks freaking amazing. Now, obviously, the movie design is a little bit difficult to actually, like, get a basic understanding of how it looks, because it's a very complex design. But honestly, I think the Hasbro team got it as close, as dead on as humanly possible, man. It's a really amazing looking robot mode. Like, I cannot get over how amazing this looks. And honestly, on the camera here, my camera's not doing this guy that much justice in this mode. In person, he looks 10 times better. He is just incredible, man. He looks so good. And as you can see, he's definitely not nearly as massive as he was in helicopter mode. He's pretty acceptable size in this mode. But yeah, he's got all of the essential Blackout details, the amazing head sculpt. We'll just get in here close on that, because oh my god, that head sculpt might be my favorite part of the figure. It is just absolutely remarkable. Look at it. Literally looks like they took Blackout right out of the movie and put him in a toy, man. It is just incredible. I cannot get over how amazing these head sculpts are in the Studio Series line. It's one of the best things, especially when you put it next to the other movie one-cons, because they all have such a cool and unique head sculpt, but they still all kind of follow the same aesthetic, and it's awesome. You'll see what I'm talking about when we bring in the rest of the team. But yeah, the head sculpt looks incredible. It's probably probably my favorite part of the figure. He does have this piece. This piece, if you want to, you can fold it down if you want, but it's way more accurate to have it pulled up like that. So yeah, I leave it up like that because it's just way more accurate. But you can fold it down if you want, and I mean, if you want to have him take up less real estate, then I mean, it's a nice option. I have made use of it, so it's a nice option, but I prefer to leave it up. I kind of wish they made it kind of like collapsible. It would be kind of neat. I don't think it's like, is it a gun? I think it's a gun. I don't know. It might be a gun. But yeah, and the rest of the details, like the landing gear is super cool because the landing gear folds up and becomes that little piece in his torso right there, which is super cool. All this kind of kibbly stuff on the back is all extremely movie accurate. Makes him look really good. I love the little propeller part right there, which isn't actually like the propeller section right there, but that's super cool to see right there. That was a big part of his robot design right there, very noticeable part. And then his cape, really well done as well, although I think the cape could have been better because it looks like it's supposed to come in a little bit further, and granted, you can take this piece and it can kind of fold in a little bit more, like that. I guess that looks a little bit better, but it doesn't really look like that accurate, because in the movie I thought they just kind of folded up a lot more than this, but that's about the best you can get it, and it looks weird because on this side you got 3 really close together, and this side you got 2 big, and it's weird. And this piece right here, on mine, this one doesn't come, yeah, this one doesn't move, so I don't know, it might be a case of that one's supposed to move and mine just doesn't. It's possible, but hey, it doesn't bother me that much. I kind of like having it like that anyway. It doesn't look really good it doesn't look that good from this angle, but when you look at it from the front, which is what I'm gonna do 90% of the time, it looks quite good. I think they did a quite good job on the cape right there, and I like that the propellers aren't brittle because the propellers are it's a pretty solid plastic. I wouldn't really worry about them like breaking over, like bending or anything like that. It's very nicely made. Now, an actual complaint that I have with this guy is his arms. His arms are a little bit too kibbly heavy for my taste, and the hands are just kind of stuck in this permanent kind of pose right there, and the only way to have him look, because right now he looks like he just has his hands down at his side, but like the hands are just, I don't know, they're just blah. I'm sure you've heard about this in depth if you've seen any of the other reviews on this guy. Every review I've watched, which is like all of them, they've complained heavily about the hands. I don't think it's that bad, but I definitely would have liked it if they could have had some kind of wrist swivel or something. If you watch TF fan page on YouTube, he made a pretty hilarious joke about this. I would recommend checking out his review of this figure. It was a really funny joke. It got a chuckle out of me. But yeah, I think the arms could have been better. And that's really my only complaint with this guy. I mean, yeah, the panels on the bottom of the feet is a little bit ugly, but I honestly couldn't care less. I find it hilarious, the things that people expect from Hasbro, out of a figure from this price range. Like, they can't do the impossible, guys. It has to fucking sell for $50. It's a toy. It can't have this black magic engineering that they've pretty much already pulled off here, might I say. You can't expect that kind of stuff from this kind of thing. It's just, you can't do it. It's unreasonable. But yeah, all in all, I think the robot mode is pretty much perfect. I love these pieces too, these pieces standing out of the front, because that was another thing you really notice about his character in the movie, is those little pieces standing out in the front. I think they replicated them really well. I think they look really cool, and I love the little waist section right there. That's pretty cool. This little flip-up piece right here. Just an absolutely amazing looking robot mode. He does have the chicken legs right there that Michael Bay loved so much, but hey, they don't look too bad. I quite like them. You can bring them all the way out, and honestly, it doesn't look too bad if you bring them all the way out like this. You can kind of just have him like that if you wanted to be bigger. He doesn't look too bad like that, honestly. I don't really think that looks too bad. So yeah, if you want to do that, you can. One thing I will say is the bottom of the feet are one of the panels in his helicopter mode. So those decals, if you continuously like rub him on the thing, those might scratch off after a while, although I've already done it a lot and they are completely fine on mine. So I don't really care that much. It's 2 tiny little decals. It's not the end of the world if they scratch off, so whatever, but hey, worth pointing out, I think. And you can incorporate this little piece, because this is his weapon in this mode. He doesn't have any of his guns, which kinda sucks. I mean, it would've been cool if they could've given him his arm cannons or his little chest cannon that he had, but, it's a nice accessory, and I guess that they took that plastic and made that into the manufacturing cost for Scorponok, which honestly, I think is the right call. I definitely think they made the right call here, so I'm not gonna complain about it, because they definitely did the right thing. But you can take this piece, that little peg right there, we'll insert onto that little section right there on his arm, and that will give him his little spinny wheel of death that he had in the third act of the movie. You saw him kind of approaching on Optimus Prime, spinning this around, and I think he was even like, there was even that scene when he like lands and he takes this and he just like destroys like 50 cars in a row. Pretty freaking cool. I do like that included. I think it just kind of complete the look. And once again, I love that he wears his name on the side there. That's super cool. It's a badass name. So yeah, really, really nicely done. I love the way it looks, and you can spin it if you want. It's kind of mesmerizing to spin it, so yeah. But yeah, really, really nicely done robot mode, man. Alrighty, let's talk Scorponok. So you can incorporate Scorponok into the robot mode here. Once again, you just pull out the pincers and pull up that, and there you have him right there. Once again, he's very nicely done. Like I said earlier, the quality on this thing is actually surprisingly good. I think he looks good. I think the paintwork is nicely done on him, the detail. Yeah, he's just overall really good. But to incorporate him into the robot mode here, you just want to fold back in him, basically just transform him back into his little deploy type mode. Turn him around here, and he's going to plug into that little section right there on his back. He's really just going to plug into that screw port right there. That's really all there is to it. But yeah, I guess it'd probably be better to plug him in this way. So you get that on there. Although, maybe it is this way. I'm such a dummy. And there you go. You can have him stored on his back just like he does in the movie. There you have that. Very, very nicely done. And of course, whenever you want to, you can just pop him off. And there you have Scorponok right there, ready to murder. So, there you have that. And if you want to put him on the display base, you can just plop him right down. He looks quite good, if I do say so myself. I do quite like the way that looks. Like I said, I don't really like these display bases. They're a fun little thing to throw into the box, I guess. But hey, if you want to take advantage of it, there you go. Looks pretty good. Also, I guess we could bring in Scorponok, even though he wasn't really in that scene. But yeah, there you go. Alrighty, now for articulation. He actually has a pretty good amount of articulation in the head here. You wouldn't think so, but he does. He actually can look over a little bit. Looks over a little bit more on that side. I don't know why. There you go. I guess there's just something kind of blocking it there. But yeah, he has some good head articulation right there, which is really nice. Arms can go forward that far back, then kind of move out. He has like a little butterfly joint right here, which is kind of nice. It is supposed to plug in. If you've seen Jobby's video, you know about that, but hey, not a big deal in my opinion. It's okay. I kind of like that it actually works as a butterfly joint. You can get some cool articulation with it. The hands can move up and down. They do have a an opening hand right there, which is kind of nice as well. Once again, you know, the hands are the hands, but yeah, it's what you get. The legs can go forward. This fucking thing needs to get out of the way. Okay, this piece, it's limited by this piece right here, but it's you can go back that far, bring these pieces out. You got the chicken legs, you know, it's all a matter of what you want to do. That was not a very good. Yeah, Oh, he also has a nice amount of articulation in the feet. He can move down, he can move up, he can move down, and he does have some glorious ankle pivot right there, which is very nice. You can definitely get some pretty awesome spread eagle poses right there, which I definitely have made use of. Yeah, he's got some pretty decent posability. I mean, for a figure of his chunkiness, his stature, he's got some pretty nice articulation. I do think they did a pretty good job in that department, particularly with the ankle pivot. Alrighty, now for comparison. Obviously, once again, let's do the big one first. And there they are, ladies and gentlemen. There you have the full set of Movie 1 cons, and they look... Oh my god, this set of figures might be one of my favorite set of figures I have ever owned. I absolutely freaking love the way they look together. Like, they have such a cool aesthetic to them that they all follow, but none of them look similar. They all look different in their own way in terms of their face sculpt, their head design, everything. They just look so incredible when you actually put them together. And each one of these figures is absolutely terrific. These are my favorite Studio Series figures by far, every single one of them. In my opinion, they're all 10 out of 10s. I know I gave majority of them 9 out of 10, but honestly, in my opinion, if I were to just give a honest opinion on them, I just think every single one of these figures are pretty much perfect. It's an amazing set of figures. If you're gonna get any set of figures from the Studio Series, this is the one that I would recommend. Maybe the Constructicons as well, definitely probably in there as well. But seriously, this is such an impressive set of figures, and this is really what I wanted to complete. I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna talk about this more at the end of the video, but I'm probably gonna take a little break from Studio Series after this. I got Blackout, I completed my Movie 1 cons, which is the main team I wanted to complete, because I loved these characters as a kid, and I love them today. They're very special to me. I loved them in the movie, I loved them in the video games, and I love the way that they look together. They look just absolutely phenomenal. They're such a great looking team, and if you're gonna get one of them, man, they just look so incredible all together. So if you're gonna get one of them, I would say get them all, because they're just fantastic, and every single one of these figures is phenomenal. If I were to give a favorite, like if I were to like rank them, I think my favorite would have to be, like, all of them are really, really good, but I think the best figure just overall would have to be Starscream. Starscream is, both of the modes look incredible. The transformation is incredibly fun. I can do it all day. I love the transformation so much. His articulation is good. His accessory is great. Starscream is probably the best figure. I think Blackout is probably the best looking figure. I think he's the best in terms of just a figure to look at. I think he's the best. Brawl is probably my actual favorite figure. I really, really love the way he looks in both modes. I love his transformation. His transformation is probably my favorite of all of them. I love transforming him. It's an absolute joy. Bone Crusher is really, really good. Megatron is great, although I think he'd be a lot higher up if it wasn't for his gigantic, chunktastic legs. And Barricade I really, really love, but I'm not the biggest fan of the reverse transformation. But all of the figures are incredible, and I say get them all, man. They're fantastic, and when you put them together as a team, it is an entire another perspective, man. They look so unbelievably good. If you want to see some more extravagant poses for that, I'm going to save that for the showcase. I will definitely show some really cool action, extravagant group poses with them in the showcase. So, yeah, but there you have pretty much all there is for that. Although we do have some more comparisons here. I almost forgot. Here he is with Bumblebee right there. Just seeing all the Movie 1 cons together, just totally, you just can't think of anything else except for how awesome they look together. So there he is with Bumblebee. Here he is with Prime. So you can see how they look together, and I think the scale here is really, really good, honestly. I think he scales with all the characters really, really well in both modes. I mean, the helicopter mode was massive in the movie. He was one of the bigger robots. I think this looks about right to me. I think this looks about right. Maybe if you were to slunk him down a little bit more, if you don't think this looks right, you could probably slunk him down a little bit more with the chicken legs there, but I am personally pleased with this scale, so. For a couple random comparisons, here he is with Soundwave, and here he is with Sentinel Prime. No real reason other than just I have them here and they're in robot mode, so why not? There you go. But the last comparison is, of course, with the Revenge of the Fallen gang here, although Blackout should be on this side, or Grinder. But yeah, there you have the Revenge of the Fallen gang together if you want to have that as well. And they look pretty good together, and we can also just throw in Prime there if you want to get a basic sense of how they look. So if you want to make a cool little Revenge of the Fallen display, there you go. That's what you're looking at with this. I do think Studio Series will probably repaint Blackout at some point in the future into Grinder, and re-release him as Grinder, but I mean, if you don't want to wait, there you go. That's how they look together. Although, honestly, you might be better off waiting than paying the prices for this guy, which I will talk about in the final thoughts of the figure. But now, we have to do what I really don't want to do. Reverse transformation. It is time. Oh, I don't want to do it. Alright, let's get into it. Alrighty, let's go. Alright, so first thing you want to do is you want to take the arms and you want to rotate them around just like that on both sides. Just like that. And then these pieces up top, you just want to bring those out just so they're kind of out of your way, because that's going to allow you to get some clearance going on here, although not much. But these pieces right here, you want to unpeg from the torso and just slot them out just like that. Takes a little bit of force, but there you go. Just be a little bit careful, because I think those are a little bit thin. I don't know. I don't think you really need to worry about it or anything, but hey, better safe than sorry. So there you have that first step all done. Next, you want to come to the back here, and this is one thing that gave me a lot of trouble when I first transformed him, is the back piece. You just gotta untab this piece from the back. It's really easy now that I've done it a bunch of times, but it's a little bit difficult to do when you first get the figure. So that is that, and you want to bring that piece out. You want to bring that piece out, and then this entire piece is going to accordion down and then fold back up like that. And then you can take the tail section here, move the propeller is going to get in your way the entire time, so just be ready for that. Take this piece, fold it out, and peg it into place right there, and then take the back piece and fold that out as well. And there you have that. Now we move on to the legs. Alrighty, so what you want to do with the legs is you want to straighten them out fully, and you want to bring the feet flat against the body, against the legs right there. So feet down, fold them flat. You want to get those little landing gears out of the way, just like that. And now you're going to pull them out on the slider. I'm going to bend his gun down just so I can sit him down here. Whew. Oh, this reverse transformation, man. Alright, so these pieces, once again, just pull up on the slider, just like that. A little bit harder to do the same time, and then you pull those around, push them back down, and then flip that piece out, and it will peg in place. Once again, on the other side here, fold it out, fold this piece around, get that landing gear out of your way, fold that around, peg it back in, fold that piece out, and it will clip in place right there. And then you want to take the legs here, and you want to turn them on this thing here, and you want to get them completely straight here. And then the same thing on the other side here. Rotate them at the swivel right there. And there you have that. Alright, we are making progress here. We are making progress. So you want to have them like that. You want to have them angled like that. Now, you want to take this entire piece right here, and you want to fold it up. And this entire piece is going to untab from the section there, and you want to fold that up. I'm sorry if you couldn't see that. And then you want to bring this out, and you want to take the little skirt assembly there, flip that down, and then you want to flip down the legs as well on those nice clickety-clackety ratchet joints right there. And there you have that. Get that all out of your way right there. And then for this piece, this little notch in that little gray bar piece is going to slot into that slot right there. You can see, you can just barely see it right there. When you fold this up, well, actually, no. Not that one, I apologize. This one right there. That one right there is where that piece is going to slot into. So bring this up, fold this up, and then bring it in. Like I said, everything is just going to get in your way this entire time. Like I said, this transformation is not the most fun, this transformation back. But you bring this piece up, fold it up like this, and then that piece is going to find its way into that slot, and you'll feel it click in there like that. Okay, now you come back here. This part I actually kind of like, because this part is just kind of like just pegging all this in place, and it's kind of fun to do. But yeah, you just do that, get all that pegged in there, do the same thing on the other side here, and we are on our way here. So there you have that, get that pegged in right there. And there you go. There you have kind of the back of the helicopter done right there. Alright, I think we want to go to do the arms first, then arms next here. So these pieces right here, you're going to unpeg and you're going to fold them around, and then you want to take the hand, tuck it back into place right there. I apologize if you couldn't see it. Take the hand, plug it back into place right there, fold that piece down, fold this piece up, and then you want to fold this piece out, and there you have that. Fold this entire assembly around, and it's going to tab into place right there. You can see there's a slot right there, tab right there, that's gonna peg up, slot in there, bring that piece out, and then that is one arm kind of done right there, although this piece is gonna get in your way because it's freaking obnoxious. I don't like that piece. I'll talk about that more in a second here, but you're gonna do the same thing on the other side here, bring this out, fold this piece out, fold it around, flip in the hand, fold this piece up, bring this piece out, and peg it into place right there. A little bit stiff, but you gotta just do it. You just gotta do it. Bring that piece back. And there you pretty much have the arms done right there. You know, you don't want to fold those in, because I know you think you were going to fold those in, and you are, but you want to wait a little bit longer. It's going to make your life easier, trust me. We're going to do the cockpit next. So, what you want to do with the cockpit is you want to grab this piece, and you want to kind of just flip this piece out. You can kind of just grab it from this piece if you want, but I'm a little bit worried it might break off if you do that. But hey, do whatever works. Fold that piece out, bring this piece up, and then peg that down like that. And then the head, don't worry about this because the head has enough clearance in here. You just want to take the head and you just want to push it in there. I was worried that pushing it in there might hurt the sculpt, like break off one of the horns or something like that, which would be bad, but trust me, even if you feel like resistance in there, it all is fine. It goes in just fine right there. It doesn't hurt the head sculpt at all. And then you can take this piece, pull it down. You can see that little slot will slot into his little kind of top section right there. Well, actually, you gotta kind of get that in there if you want to kind of bring this piece out, and then you can kind of do that, and it will kind of slot in there a little bit. I guess you can kind of maybe bring the head up a little bit if you wanted to. Alrighty, we're getting there. I mean, a lot of you are probably just saying right now, this really doesn't look that bad. It's a lot. It's just a lot of things trying to fight you, man. That's the only reason why it's frustrating, but you want to bring this piece down just so it's out of your way. And now we're going to do the arms here. So you want to bring the arms in, and you want to get them in here, and you got to this is going to kind of fight you a little bit, but you got to get this piece folded in there. You got to get that piece around there somehow. Like I said, clearance issues. And then you want to get this entire piece in here. That piece is going to clip into that section, and then that piece is going to clip into that section right there, that slot into that tab right there. And that is that arm all done. This piece, you want to get that tabbed into there, forget about it. It's not going to happen. Just leave it. It's not going to happen. It doesn't tab. It doesn't happen. Just forget about it. Trust me. Just don't fucking worry about it. Alright, same thing on the other side here. Sorry, I'm so out of breath. This transformation is so tough. But yeah, bring that piece out, fold that in, fold that piece out, bring it up, tab it into place there, tab it into place up there. Oh, come on, come on. There we go. Get that tabbed in there. Get all that tabbed in place right there. You want to get that, make sure that's all sitting there properly. Do that. Once again, don't even try to get that to plug in because it's just not going to happen. You'll be wasting you'll just be wasting your time. Alright, we're almost done. Take these pieces, fold them back, and they will clip into place on either side. Just like that. Also, you want to get the landing gear, actually. You want to get that landing gear and just kind of bring that up, and it will just kind of slot perfectly into place right there. That'll just give us a little bit of easier time finishing up here. Alrighty. We're pretty much done here. We're at the home stretch here. So, take these pieces. I actually want to take these pieces first, and these are going to peg together right there in the middle, and that'll kind of fold that piece out. And then this piece is right here. Also, fold together in the middle, just like this. Kind of get them like that. Bring them down, bring them out, and then peg them together. They don't really like to stay together that well, but hey, just kind of get them together, get all that there. Bring out the propellers, clip them in place, and there we go. We're done. Oh. Actually, we need to bring in his little rotor piece here, fold it out, and plug it into place right back here. And there we go. Woo! There you go. We are done. There you have Blackout back in his helicopter mode. Woo! Alrighty, it's done. Showcase time. Let's go. Which, you know what that means? That means I have to transform him all over again, so... Ah, Blackout, my most loyal and trusted warrior. You are finally back.
Yes, sir. I apologize for my absence. It will never happen again, my liege.
Honestly, you missed something pretty friggin' insane with Barricade.
Did somebody say my name?
Oh, Barricade, that was me. I apologize. I don't really need you right now.
Well, I didn't realize I came here to be disrespected.
Anyway, Blackout, it's great to have you back.
Oh, it's great to be back, sir. In fact, I do have something for you.
Ah, of course you do.
I found this cube thing in my absence. I'm not sure what it is, but it looks similar to the Allspark, so I figured I would bring it to you.
Ah, yes, let me see that. This looks strangely familiar, but I can't quite put my finger on it. I'll give it to Shockwave, see if he can figure something out. In the meantime, Blackout, why don't you take a load off? You've had it rough.
Thank you, sir. I'm gonna go watch Breaking Bad.
Breaking what?
So, final thoughts on Leader Class Blackout. I just gotta say it. I think Hasbro absolutely outdid themselves with these Movie 1 Decepticons from the Studio series. They're just incredible. Every single one of these figures I absolutely adore. I'm so happy I had them. As a kid, I always wanted this team in action figure form, and now that I actually have them, and the figures are about 1,000,000 times better than they were back in when the actual movie first came out, and I first saw them as a kid, it is really, really, really satisfying, and I absolutely love these guys. I kind of want to make these guys like my new channel mascot, man. I love them so much. Most of them, I think, are 10 out of 10. The only issues I have with the set as a whole is that Blackout's transformation, I think, could be a little bit more fun, and also, like I said in Barricade's review, I think his reverse transformation is a little bit unfun. Megatron's transformation is not the most smooth either, but other than those very small little exceptions, I think that the transformations as a whole are super fun, and the figures overall are fantastic. And I mean, Megatron, Barricade, and Blackout here, they more than make up for it in just absolute shelf presence. I mean, they just look absolutely immaculate on the shelf. They are spitting images of the characters, of the movie models, and it's truly insane to me that Hasbro was able to produce figures of this quality, of this amazingness for the price that they did. It's pretty insane to me. Now, on that note, I do need to talk about something with this guy. This is the oldest Studio Series figure I have. This is actually a Studio Series figure from the very first line of figures, and as such, he's quite tough to get these days. I had quite a hard time getting my hands on this figure, and I did pay a little bit more for him than he was when he first came out. I'm not mad about it at all. In fact, I think he's well worth a small amount more than he was when he first came out, because when he first came out, it was $50, but nowadays, you'd be a really lucky guy to find him for $50, but for $50, he's a freaking bargain, absolute freaking robbery of a figure. He's amazing for that price, but for the price I paid for him, I'm 100% satisfied. I would not change anything. He's awesome, but if you're getting into the triple digits, I would definitely if it's either get him by paying triple digits or wait for hopefully Studio Series to make a grinder. I mean, obviously value is in the eye of the beholder, obviously, but like, I don't know if he's worth triple digits. I want to say he is. I think if I were to pay triple digits for him, I think I would be satisfied, really, because it's Blackout, and I fucking love Blackout, and the fact that I now have all the Movie 1 cons is just awesome, and I will be dedicating an entire shelf to my Movie 1 cons, because I love them so much, and I might even, like I said before, I might even make them my channel mascot, honestly. They're awesome, and they have that nostalgia factor since I loved them so much as a kid, so unlike a lot of characters that I love these days, like these characters I actually loved as a kid, so they have that nostalgia factor, which plays a huge part in this kind of stuff. But yeah, this figure is, it's pretty much perfect, I think. I really, really freaking love it. It's amazing. It's just as good as all the other Movie 1 cons. They really outdid themselves with this, with this set of figures. So, and the fact that he includes Scorponok as well, like, it's a terrific figure. I can't recommend it enough. 9 out of 10. Just like almost every other figure in the movie, it's like every other one of the Movie 1 cons I reviewed, he is a 9 out of 10. He's just incredible. I freaking love this figure. Yeah, I really, really love him. That's really all I have to say about him. So, there you have it. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Like I said earlier in the video, this is probably going to be my last Studio Series figure for a while. Probably, I say, because I do still really want Shockwave, and I absolutely want Blitzwing when he comes out. I will definitely be getting Blitzwing when he comes out, so, those will probably be the next two I get, but honestly, after that, I really got the team that I really wanted. The Movie 1 cons is the team that I wanted to build, and now that I've built them, I feel kind of satisfied with the Studio Series at the moment. I do want Shockwave, though. Shockwave looks way too good to pass up, and I don't want the same thing to happen with him, where Shockwave becomes hard to get in the future. So, I think I'm gonna get Shockwave, which is why I said probably, but still, absolutely love this thing. I think I've rambled on enough. This is probably the longest video on my channel, and yeah, it's a long one, but man, it was a lot to talk about with this guy. So, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider hitting that subscribe button for more figure reviews, and this is Guillotine, signing out.